Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we're discussing a recent launch from Zenith, the Chronomaster Original 38mm in rose gold. This is the next generation El Primero inside a case shape, size, and design that is a direct recall from 1969, the first year for the original El Primero. So externally, everything is historical tradition. Rose gold, 38mm in diameter, 12.9mm thick from lug tip to lug tip, 45.7mm with a vintagey 19mm spacing between the lugs. We throw it on my wrist. My wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference, and it's easy to wear, comfortable, narrow across the wrist, suitable for women, yes, and for guys. Traditionally sized, it feels like a new manufacturer vintage watch, which in many regards it is. The timepiece is flat enough to fit underneath the cuff and quite comfortable. Taking a look at the strap, the comfort is self-evident. It's leather on the top, calf skin, minimally tanned. You can still see a lot of the impurities of the original animal hide. It's got a monotone stitch. It's sheer cut on the sides, so you can see the layers of leather. There is a binding stitch, and then on the underside, you can see there is a rubber inlay, which makes this already supple strap even smoother and silkier. It is very comfortable. Now, the watch, of course, is a Zenith factory strap on a Zenith factory buckle. Taking a quick look at how this works, we have a double fold, pops open, move that little strap minder right there, and this is your insurance against accidentally dropping the watch while donning or removing it bedside. That's what deployant clasps are for. They are there to prevent accidental droppage of the watch. So the timepiece looks like a vintage A386. We have a polished case flank, satinated lug hoods. There's a little bit of a bevel on the edge of the lug. The lug ends are squared off, and then you can see that the watch is actually a monoblock case, so there's no separate bezel structure. The bezel and the mid case are all one piece. The back is a screw in, and everything, the dial, the movement, it all loads through the case back. The bezel, such as it is flat and polished, and it gives way to a dramatically cambered box section sapphire. This is designed to look a little bit like a vintage plexi, but make no mistake, it is sapphire. We have the Zenith Star logo on the crown, and then we have pump style pushers. You'll even note that the timepiece includes matching Zenith Star on the reverse side, and a little star mark on the case. Now, the dial. Historical, overlapping tritone registers, but you can see that these have been refined since they were revived in the late 2000s, so that you no longer have cropped scales. You can read the constant seconds, the chronograph minutes, as well as the chronograph seconds, because take a quick look. You can see this is a 10-second orbit of the dial. That striking 10th complication is there to make it easy to read 1/10 of a second. So for example, right here, I can read that this is 7/10 of a second. And that's what this striking 10th foudroyant is for. It's designed to make it easier to read the theoretical maximum precision of an El Primero chronograph. On smaller scales, 1/10 of a second was harder to read. But with the striking 10th, you spread those 10 seconds and those tenths of seconds over a larger sweep of dial. The timepiece includes a separate register for running chronograph seconds. You lose the chronograph hours register with the striking 10th. So we have a 60-minute register for the chronograph. Most chronographs don't feature a 60-minute register, so that's a feature I like because I think it's very practical. We also have that chronograph seconds register, which stops when you stop the chronograph. Then we have constant seconds. We have gray, silver gray, and blue, a red varnished seconds hand, rose gold applique indices with rose gold hands at center, and a faceted date. Now, a new feature on El Primeros, not previously found on the integrated El Primero movements, was the hacking or stop seconds function. Let me just roll this thing through midnight to make sure we're not in the date change danger zone, and sure enough we were. But the watch has hacking or stop seconds, and it also has a quick set system just like that. So whereas the traditional El Primero had only a quick set, the new El Primero caliber 3600 also has hacking seconds. Turn it all over, you can see that new caliber 3600. It's effectively the El Primero Generation 2. What hasn't changed? Well, what hasn't changed is the 5 hertz 10 beat per second beat rate. What hasn't changed is the use of a column wheel here in blue and a lateral chronograph clutch. The column wheel makes it crisp. The lateral clutch makes it beautiful. Lateral clutches are less efficient. They're also less precise than a vertical clutch, but we're talking maybe 1.5 seconds per operation, meaning for the beauty you get and the rarity, Zenith decided it was worth sticking with the traditional clutch. What else hasn't changed? Well, what else hasn't changed is the use of a silicon escapement. That was found on later versions and still is found on later versions of the original El Primero caliber. But what has changed is we've gone from 31 joules to 35, no hacking seconds to hacking seconds, and the power reserve has gone from 50 to 60 hours, which is significant. All of this now water resistant down to 50 meters in the case as you see it here. The watch is an all-arounder, though somewhat dressy with its size and rose gold case. It is well loomed like a sports watch would be, so I consider this to be an all-arounder. A little bit of sports, a little bit of formality, serving well in either role and suitable for wrists of all sizes. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.